Okay, so the first thing I'm going to start off by doing is moisturizing my face, and then I'm also using my Too Faced Hangover Primer to make sure that my face is ready and set to go for the long night of makeup I have ahead of me. Now I'm using my Smashbox Foundation Primer to give myself a smooth base. Next, I'm using my all-time favorite longwear foundation, my EX Invisiwear Foundation. Apparently Kylie Jenner uses this thing. I love it, it's my baby. So I'm just buffing this out using my Real Techniques face buffing brush. So once that is all blended and buffed in, make sure you don't forget your neck and your chin. But I'm using my Beauty Blender and I'm bouncing this all over my skin. This Beauty Blender is damp and this just gives you a more natural skin-like finish. Now I'm going in with my concealer, so I'm using my NARS Radiant Creamy Concealer. This one's in the shade Custard, and I'm using this to cover up any blemishes. Next, I'm using my all-time favorite concealer, my Urban Decay Naked Skin Concealer, and I'm using this to brighten up my under eyes, and I'm also highlighting sort of down my nose and on my chin, and then blending this out with my damp Beauty Blender again. To set everything that we've done on the face, I'm using my Laura Mercier Translucent Setting Powder, and I'm packing this on, and I'm going to leave this on my face for a little bit to let it bake. While I'm doing that, I'm going to do my brows. I'm using very light hair-like strokes to fill in my brows. I'm using my Brow Wiz, and then I'm using the spoolie to blend everything out. In order to fill in any sparse areas, I'm using my Anastasia Brow Powder Duo and a little angled brow brush. On top of all of that, I'm using my clear brow gel to set everything in place for the night. Since I spend an unnecessary amount of time on my brows, enough time has passed for me to wipe off my bake using my fluffy brush, and now I'm going to go in with my Smashbox contour stick to contour my cheekbones, the sides of my foreheads, and down the nose, and I'm just blending this out using a dense buffing brush. Now I'm using my Holy Grail contour powder, my Kevyn Aucoin sculpting powder in the shade medium, and I'm using this to set all of the cream contour as well as add a little bit more depth. And then on top of that, I'm going to be using my Hoola bronzer. You guys have seen me use a lot of these products, but I just love them that much. So for blush, I'm using this Pixie Blush Book, and I'm using that middle shade. It's sort of like a peachy, shimmery shade. And then for an illuminator, I'm using this Liquid Illuminator by Absolute New York to highlight my cheekbones. On top of that, I'm just using this sort of champagne eyeshadow from the Lorac Pro palette, and I'm using my fan brush to add some more highlight because I got a glow on the red carpet, of course. I'm also highlighting my brow bone using the highlighting stick from the Smashbox Contour Trio. I always like to add a little bit more bronzer on top of everything just in case anything has been like buffed away. Moving on to my eyes, so I'm using this Too Faced Shadow Insurance Primer, and then for eyeshadow I'm going to be using my Too Faced Chocolate Bar palette, which is my favorite right now. I'm using the shade Salted Caramel as a transition blending color in my crease, and then I'm using Semi Sweet to sort of add more depth to my outer corner. Dipping into that darker Triple Fudge shade, I'm focusing that on the outer portions of my eyes and then blending that all in. I'm also taking that semi-sweet color and I'm putting that on my lower lash line, and then I'm going to spritz my brush with some setting spray and dip it into that gold color over there and pack that onto the center of my lids. Once everything's done, I'm going back into Salted Caramel and blending all of that out. I tightlined my eyes using my Makeup Forever Aqua XL liner, and then I used my Absolute New York liquid liner to do a winged cat eye. For mascara, I'm using the Too Faced Better Than Sex mascara on my top lashes, and then on top of that, I'm using my Excessive Lash mascara, which is one of my favorites on both my top and my bottom. On my lips, I'm wearing Charlotte Tilbury Pillow Talk liner and NYX's London Soft Matte Lip Cream, which is one of the best nude lip combos of all time. You guys should definitely go try it out. So I didn't show this in the video, but later I did end up putting on fake lashes. I used the Demi Pixies by Ardell. Okay, moving on to hair. After I added heat protectant to my hair, I split my hair into two sections. This top section I'm putting into a super high ponytail, and then the bottom section I'm also putting into a ponytail as well. And then I'm using my 1-inch curling wand, and I'm taking small sections of my hair and curling them in both directions. So I'm doing this to my whole ponytail, both top and bottom ponytails. It looks a little crazy while you're doing it, but I've been doing this a lot recently and I love the way it turns out. So once both ponytails are done curling, I'm taking them out and you're left with these cool, beachy, messy waves. You can leave it like this, but I like to go in and curl some of the top pieces to add more structure to it. But that's pretty much it. I also am using this Pantene hairspray, messing around with it, flipping my hair around, and that's how I got my sort of beachy, messy waves. So this was my makeup and hair look, and now I'm just going to show you guys what I wore on the red carpet. So both my metallic pleated tunic and my wide leg trousers were from Zara. I think they just look really cool together, but that's my look. So if you guys want to see what I did at the MMVAs or see the red carpet action, also some celebrity encounters, go check out my vlog, and I'll talk to you in my next video. Bye guys!